Oh my goodness, something so very serious. You know, you kind of think of alcohol. Well, you know, I could drink, have a drink a day. That it states that it's great for the heart, but
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about the abuse of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they always say a little bit of something's good for the soul. You just don't want to, overdo anything. Like even
Yes.
water, if you take it too much, can
Yeah.
be detrimental to your health.
Oh
So
wow.
you always want to be kind of cautious of things. You know, red wine has some really positive cardiovascular, health safety. Well, helps with cardiovascular safety. So
Yes.
that's fine to have like a glass of red wine at night, release the stress. But it's really kind of the sugary drinks, the beers, the alcoholic beverages, and kind of consuming them, more in moderation than potentially
Yes.
one a night. Um, and even that sometimes can be a little too much depending on what's going on. But you always want to make sure that you're not having these high sugar and these particular high intake of alcohol.
Yes.
Because it can have effects on the body, and we talked about equilibrium. Scalp and hair is fickle. Once that
Yes.
equilibrium is shifted, things happen very, very quickly, and they can lag behind even after everything's been, back at a good baseline. But with alcoholism, it affects the body in a lot of different ways. It can cause a lot of dehydration.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about the dry skin, hair, and nails being, dry hair is brittle hair,
Yes.
or fragile hair, excuse me. And then also talking about how it can affect the lining of the stomach. It can affect your absorption of nutrients that we talked about in our prior What's Up Doc episode. So, tune into that one. So talk about nutrients and status of the body. But it can really affect your absorption rate, which leads to malnutrition. Particularly protein can be affected. And so that's when I always say when you go to sleep at night, your body's going to restore and use protein to kind of repair cells, whether it's, it goes in a totem pole of priority. So you have your heart, liver, lungs, kidney, all your vital organs necessary for survival. And at the bottom of that totem pole is going to be skin, and then hairs and nails. Because body realizes, okay, we can survive without hair or nails.
Absolutely.
So you always want to make sure you have enough protein in your reservoirs so that way you can kind of restore and repair everything necessary. And so when that protein levels are being affected by malabsorption from alcoholism, then that's when it also becomes an issue. And then also, it shifts the whole dynamic of the pH of the body. So acidity levels, alkalinity levels, the body's working really hard to try to bring everything back to a good equilibrium. So it just really kind of takes away the metabolic energy that you may need for other things to really focus on keeping that blood level at an appropriate pH for survival.
Absolutely. And Dr. Nikki, you said some great facts there. Truly understand that your body is going to, pretty much give to the hair, skin, and nails last. So again, picking up a product to say, okay, how can I combat this? The communication has to be very effective, with your hair care provider. And so now, also too, and you did state something. Red wine is very good for the cardiovascular. But now abusing. Okay, when we're talking about alcoholism here, and so and speaking of those things, understand that in the center of that is the heart. And so the blood flow, the nutrients, and the oxygen, how all of that affects. Now, the cells that's in the hair, this is the outskirts of what you see here, but it's being fed by the cells that's underneath, the scalp. And so the nutrients and oxygen is very important for that, And so again, just raising the awareness of what alcoholism can do to your body. And so Dr. Nikki, I thank you for that. But now stress is on a whole different level.